Hello everyone, welcome to Python for Beginners. This is Daniel from the Tech Guy blog. Today we're going to be talking about terminal commands for Mac and Linux systems. So, you may ask yourself, why do we use terminal commands? Well, terminal interfacing speeds productivity, and as a programmer we want to be efficient while we're using our computer. So let's go ahead and take a look at the commands. We're going to use our commands for directory browsing, for file management. In addition to our commands, we're going to be using keyboard shortcuts in our terminal window. So let's go ahead and open a new terminal window. Let's see. All right, so I've opened a new terminal window. You can go on it by going into the Finder and typing terminal, enter, and opening. So we have now entered into a new terminal window. Right here, you'll find the name of your current directory. Directory is another fancy word for folder on your computer. This is the folder named Python_notes. Now, let's take a look at some commands we can use to interface with that. So, one of the most commonly used commands is ls, list. This lists all the files inside that current directory. So ls, type that in, and you're going to get a list again of all the files inside that directory. Let's take a look at another command. This command, pwd, shows the full path of that directory. So it's going to show where on your computer this directory is currently located. Let's go ahead and type twd. So as you can see here, it gives you an address, users slash jdanielruiz/python_notes. This is the full address of that the full path of that current directory. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another command. If we want to move into a directory, another folder inside our current directory, we will use the command cd and then the name of the directory that we would like to move into. So let's go ahead and type that, and I'm going to move into new folder, and we are now in new folder, as you can see right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at another command. If we want to go back to that directory, to the main directory, the parent directory, we would do cd ... And this takes us back to that original folder, Python_notes. But let's go ahead and go back to the new one. So let's go ahead, cd, new folder. And we are now in the child folder, or the folder that's underneath that folder that you use the cd line. Okay. To make a new directory, we're going to use the command mkdir, which is make directory, short for make directory, and then the name of your new directory. So this is going to make a new folder in our directory. Let's go ahead and do that. Make dir sub dir. Okay, let's use this. All right, so we've now created a new folder, and if we use the ls again, you're going to see that our new folder, subdir, is right over here. Okay, now let's take a look at a way to make files. So this is a good way to start a file on your computer. It creates an empty file, and you can use any extension. So we're going to use touch, the file name. So we want to cut, I don't know, sample.py. So we're going to go ahead and give it a Python extension name, and it creates a completely new file with our whatever extension we desire. And we can list it again. Let's see what's inside our folder. Once again, we're listing the contents in our current directory using ls, and you can see that we've created sample.py over here. Excellent. So let's go ahead and take a look at some more commands. If we want to rename a file, we would use mv, which is short for move, old file, and then the new file name. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that would look like. We have new file.py, and we want to rename that to old file.py. Okay, so let's do mv new file.py. Make sure you pay attention to your capitalization. It is case sensitive, So this is the old file, and we want to rename it to a new file.py. All right. So if we list out our files again, you're going to see that the new file has been renamed to new file.py. All right. So let's take a look at a few more commands. Let's say we want to move one file into another directory. We will use the following command: mv, the file name, and then the file path. Let's take a look at that on our terminal. Let's go ahead and list out all our files in this current folder. And as we can see, this actually right here is it's a file, but let's go ahead and move into subdirectory here. And oops, I meant to go forward. So new folder. So let's go ahead and move the new file into subdirectory. So how do we do that? We can do mv new file, and then we're going to list out the path, the exact path that we want to move our folder into. And I've already copied that. We're going to go ahead and put subdirectory, and it's going to send it to that, as you can see, the folder subdirectory, and we sent it. So let's go ahead and go into that folder subdir, and let's list out our files. And as you can see, the file is there. New file is in our terminal. So that's one way we can move within move files within directories. Let's take a look at another way. We can optionally do this. Let's list out again all our files. Oops. And let's go ahead and use the following command, just backslash. So we can do mv, the file name, and this notation. What this command does is sends it back to the parent directory. So it's going to send it to the previous folder. So let's go ahead and run this, and let's go back to our parent. Let's list, and as you can see, the folder or the file is back on the original directory. So that's one way. Now, to create a new file within a directory, we're going to use the command touch, and you're going to use that often actually when you're creating programs. So touch, let's create sample example.py. So we've created a file, an empty Python file, and as we listed, you see that it's created an empty Python file within our current directory. So let's take a look at some keyboard shortcuts you'll be using. So one of the keyboard shortcuts that I use often is Command K, and that is to clear the window. So if you have some commands already in your window, you use Command K, and it clears that window. The next command that I use often is the arrow keys. The arrow keys allow you to go back into your history, into your command history, and you can reuse any command. So let's show an example of that. So I'm going back in my history, and I don't have to write everything out again. I can just reuse whatever command using the up and down arrow keys. The last command that you're going to be using often is going to be, the quit process. So you're going to use the Control-C combination to escape a process. So let's go ahead and write that down. Sorry, I'm displaying everything, all my keystrokes, so you can see what I'm exactly doing here. So you're going to do Control-C, and that exits a process. So as you can see, it exits. I don't have a running program right now, but it would exit a program if there was a program running. So this concludes our discussion and our video on the terminal window. If you have any questions, feel free to write them down below. I will try to get back to you as shortly as possible. Also, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep uploading a few more videos in the next few days. If you have any suggested topics, feel free to write them down below as well. Once again, thank you very much, and this was the Tech Guy Vlog with Daniel.